In this video, I'm going to share with you what I believe to be the best cities to date if you are a single guy. There are three criteria I think that come into play: the singles ratio, cultural adaptability, and socio-economic factor. The single ratio is the most important factor because take for example a city of 1 million people. If there's a 1% change in the sexual ratio difference, that's 10,000 additional women or 10,000 more men. Imagine 10,000 more men competing for you for the same girl versus there's 10,000 more women that are available to you to date. That's just 1%. The US Census data is a good place to go. You can also start using visualization tools to see the breakdowns of single ratios by age group. The next step is you actually have to go visit the city, or you call up a friend and you ask him his experiences in that city. So what I did before I moved to a new city is I went on a 2-week trip there. And what I did was I went on these scouting missions. I would pick 3 hotspots that I knew a lot of people went to. And I would go to those hotspots and I'll visually observe and I'll take some notes in my phone. But more important than that, I would actually talk to people. I'll give you an example. When I went to Vegas, people think Vegas is full of hot girls, but it's kind of an illusion, right? Because there's like the tourist side of Vegas and there's the actual local side. And I was like, well, let me compare Vegas to like LA or New York. So what I did was I went up to 20 girls over the course of 2 weeks and I recorded my results. Of the 20 girls I talked to, 10 to 11 of them were tourists, which meant they were not for me because I was looking for a long-term girlfriend. So that eliminated half the group, right? I tried to keep in touch with some of their cuter ones, but again, they would go back to their home cities and it was hard to keep the conversation going. Of the 10 that remained, 3 of them were already in relationships, so that's a no-go. The other 3 were kind of below my ideal physical requirements. That left about 3 left, and of those 3, maybe I would get 1 or 2 out on a date. That means 1 or 2 out of 20 actually fit my physical criteria and also was available and are willing to go on a date with me. In LA, I would go to a farmer's market and I would see 3 models. I would go to a hotel bar that we used to visit and there would be stunners there, like 5 or 6 of them in one night. There was no shortage of beautiful women. I would talk to 20 of them. The worst case, like 4 or 5 of them are not single. That leaves 15 of them. And of the 15 of them, probably almost all of them are up to par as far as looks go. And then I can probably get 6 or 7 of them out on a date. So that means that every 2 weeks, I can set up 3 dates a week. That would be 6 dates in 2 weeks. And that's good. I'm good for the month, right? And these girls are like, I'm generally like, you know that feeling like I'm inspired. Like I see them, I'm like, I am motivated because they're beautiful. They know they have style. They know how to do their makeup. I'm out with them and I don't feel the need to see other girls. Like if we're out at Beauty and Essex or Catch or some other famous LA location, there are a lot of beautiful girls in LA, but I don't feel the need to look at other girls because I know my girl is beautiful and also I'm getting to know her. And I just feel like I'd rather be nowhere else in the world than here, right? Whereas in Vegas, I went on a date there and it was like, the girl didn't look like her pictures, you know, I had to pay for everything and I resented it. And I just felt like cheated. I remember feeling cheated at that time. In New York, my student went to visit there. He's thinking of moving there. He said, you know, Giovanni, in one street, I saw 3 models and I got approach anxiety and I was like, damn it, I didn't talk to them. But then guess what? I went to the next street and there was more models. So you never run out of girls to talk to in New York. So the ratio is the single most important factor when you're considering your dating life and the quality of it. The second factor is cultural adaptability. As an Asian guy, I have to consider the following. What is the population of this city? What is the cultural diversity in this city? And how accepting of them of Asian men, especially Asian men dating non-Asian girls. I'll tell you a quick story. I have an Indian friend / client. He would tell me, you know, I try really hard in San Diego. I get some dates, but it just feels like the girls don't really value me that much. I have to pay for everything. It just feels like they just feel very entitled. And he went to New York and then he was texting me and he's like, bro, New York, like every girl I talk to here gives me the time of day. I actually feel like I can move things forward. I feel like they don't judge me for being a minority. And having lived in San Diego, I can tell you most people in San Diego are great, but I've also had people call me chopstick. I've had people look at me weird when I bring out my blonde girlfriend. There's no public racism, but there's like almost a closet subliminal type of, well, you look different than us, why are you here? So those are things you have to consider. Like culturally, do I fit that city? San Diego also is not a fashion capital. If you're in the military, if you're in biotech, if you're in real estate, maybe it didn't feel like the current of the city really matched my energy. Weather-wise, it was amazing. San Diego, weather-wise, is what we quote heaven on earth. It's like beautiful weather all year round. It's very comfortable to live in. People are very chill for the most part, but I had no commonality to that. So although it was great to live there, I didn't feel like the subcurrent of the city flowed to who I was as a person. When I was in LA, the level of of skill in the artists, diversity of the type of artists, actors, movies. People say this very like who you know and it's very like transactional, but I fell in love with the artistry of the city. In New York, in certain parts of Brickell in Miami, there's this burgeoning movement of like people doing creative things. And I love that. That's like part of who I am. The third criteria is social economic, right? So it's like, okay, well, what is my earning potential here? Bay Area is great for my earning potential, but my dating life took a hit. New York is great for my dating potential and I can earn a lot, but the costs are high. So with remote work now being an option, it's like, well, where's my highest earning potential and where can I have the most fun and opportunities as a single guy? You really have to evaluate that for yourself because now money is involved, right? It's like, well, what's my capacity to make money and save money? Where can my money go the furthest? The fourth factor are mental and health needs. How close am I to real family if I'm really in trouble, right? And that can bring you peace of mind, especially when you're a guy out there in the world, especially when things don't go so well and things go wrong. Like, who are your real friends? Do you have real friends? But really, do you have family that can really have your back if and when it's needed? Another thing to consider is like the city that I want to live in when I'm dating is different than the city I would live in if I had a girlfriend. Because I would live in New York just for the dating opportunities, right? But if I found my girl and I was thinking of starting my family, or if I wanted a career, I might move to the Bay Area for my career. I may move to Miami to start a family because the weather's good and the laws are good for me. Where I want to live for finding the girl or getting dating experience is different than where I eventually want to end up, for later in my life. If you are choosing a city to visit in, I would throw in these additional factors. One is hired services legal there, right? That's a very important part for most guys. Two is how accepted is casual sex there and how long am I gonna be there for if that were to happen. Three, how open are girls to foreigners, especially a foreigner like me? How beautiful and how stylish are the women there in general? And then most importantly, do they speak the language that I speak, because I need to be able to communicate to move things forward. Which city is best for you? Let's recap. Consider the singles ratio. Consider your cultural adaptation to that city. Consider the socio-economic factors. Consider your health and mental well-being and your family and distance to the people that really care about you. And then your spiritual connection to that city. Okay, these are the 5 criteria that if I were to do over again, I would consider before making a move. If you're visiting, consider the cultural beauty of that city. Consider how casual sex is in that city. And then consider if they speak your language and if you resonate with the culture. If you're an Asian guy and you really want to know exactly where to go, check out datingwithoutborders.net. In that course, I talk about the best city for Asian guys. If you're just a guy who's single, who wants to improve his dating life, you may want to check out this link here. You'll have an opportunity to download 7 high status messages, and then you'll have a chance to access First Date Formula. It's a course where I show you how to go to any city, be anywhere, and actually have a real, authentic conversation to be able to create attraction and connection with the women that you want, and to be able to do that consistently for the rest of your life. So I hope this video was helpful. If you have other experiences in other cities, if you've been to the cities I've talked about, I would love to hear your experience in the comments below. My name is Giovanni. Once again, it's been a pleasure to serve you. I hope this video was useful. Give it a thumbs up if it was, and enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one.